What is the funniest thing you've personally witnessed? Substitute high school chemistry teacher demonstrating a reaction between calcium carbide and water. Test for the reaction when it's flammable. Experiment instructions emphasized multiple times only a single crystal of one chemical should be used. The teacher poured the whole bottle into the Petra dish. This guy was a real a-hole. Ended up sending the class nerd to the office when he tried to correct the teacher. When the sub actually tested the reaction, his whole upper body was engulfed in a fireball that shot up, hit the ceiling, and left a black ring. The guy was okay, except every hair on his head had been singed off.
What funny story do your friends always ask you to tell?
I was at the mall around Christmas time several years ago, waiting for my sister. Santa was downstairs doing a Pics with Pets promotional thing. So every once in a while people would walk in with their pups. I am watching the people come in with the dogs and just geeking out over them in general, when this one lady comes in with a group of like 4 or 5 West Highland Terriers. One of them, I guess, had a shit nugget trapped in its fur, and it just kinda shook out. That was funny enough, I guess. But nobody noticed and I kept waiting for anybody to step on it. It became like a poop landmine, a game of chance in my mind. This lady nearly ran over it in her stroller, which I thought would be the height of the turd hilarity. Until this kid comes near it, he was around 7 or 8, and starts to breakdance next to the turd. He is seriously doing some crazy dance moves next to it. I was like, how does he not see it? At this point my sister comes over and wanted to go. So I point to the shit and she immediately understands, not 10 seconds later. This self-important dude in an expensive suit is shoving past this old lady and bam. Karma, he slips in the shit, slides about 10 feet and falls backwards. I have never laughed so hard in my life.
What makes you laugh every time you think about it?
I work in a call center, cubicle atmosphere. We bring in snacks all the time, including the big tubs of cheese balls. These had the habit of disappearing overnight from the night shift guys. So we hatched our master plan. We changed to cheese curls by dumping a bag of them into the empty tub. And then, revenge. I took a recent package I had received in the mail with the biodegradable packing peanuts, the starch-based ones. We misted them just a touch with water to make them sticky, and then shook them up in a bag with some mac and cheese and made our own homemade cheese curls. They looked similar, but a little pale in color. Whatever, they still passed for what looked like a cheese puff. Added them to the tub. And what do you know, they started disappearing. One of the day's shift guys comes over and gets a plate and starts eating them in front of us. I had tears coming down my face, I was laughing so hard. Then he tops it off with, "These are kind of stale." Took me 10 or 15 minutes to regain my composure. Still smile and laugh about it whenever I think what we did.
What outrageous rule at your school backfired?
In the late 90s, humorous graphic tees became a popular thing. And the mall had a few stores that sold shirts with questionable taste. The school made a rule that if your shirt was inappropriate, you would have to turn it inside out. A kid in my class shows up to school with a shirt that says "I'd rather be masturbating." The teacher sends him to the bathroom to turn it inside out. He returns with an inside out shirt that says "I put the FU in fun." The teacher doesn't realize it's the same shirt, so he takes it off in class and shows her both sides. He had a few shirts custom made with prints on both sides. She asks him if he has another shirt in his locker and he says, "I have my gym clothes." She told him to go get the other shirt and change. He walks back into the class with a shirt that says, "You're driving me knucking futs." The teacher said just go to the office. So, he goes to the office and tells them that he was sent there because of his shirt. They tell him to turn it inside out and go back to class. So, he turns his shirt inside out and walks back into the class with a shirt that says "Free Mustache Rides." The teacher said, "Did you go to the office?" And he replies, "They told me to flip it inside out and come back to class." The teacher sighed and said, "Just sit down." She went about teaching and we thought he won, but he ended up getting suspended for 3 days. When he returned from suspension, he wore shirts for probably a whole week that said, "I love teachers. Support your local teachers union. Cops are the good guys. Drugs are bad. Wash behind your ears," etc. It was funny because he made these overtly positive shirts, and everyone would try to read into it too much to see what they really meant, as if it was just a tongue-in-cheek thing that they didn't get. Eventually, one of his positive shirts that he found said "Support single mums," but he claims he didn't realize there was a silhouette of a stripper on a pole. He says he thought it was just a woman. He got suspended again. What makes you laugh every time you think about it? This happened my first year as a special ed teacher. I took my class to the Special Olympics. They were giving out blue t-shirts for the participants and white shirts for the helpers. They ran out of white shirts, but they gave me a blue shirt instead. Frankly, the blue shirts looked better anyways, so I was pretty happy. Anyway, I'm walking around in my blue shirt, and I notice people are just being super nice to me. All these women are coming up to me like, "Hi, how are you?" A lot of pretty soccer mum types just being super friendly to me. Later on, I took my kids to a little playground and I was swinging on the swings with them. One of the special ed teachers from another school comes over to talk to my aides while I'm having a contest with a third grader to see who can swing the highest. The other teacher whispers to my aide, "Who is that boy following your class around?" They all start laughing as my aide tells her he's the teacher. Then I realized why all those ladies were being so friendly to me all day, and it wasn't because I was an attractive young professional.